Yo, it's Brian here. Today, talking about the San Francisco 49ers. As always, looking at the defensive side of the ball, seeing how am I feeling about this defense coming into the 2020 season. Did it for the offensive side of the ball yesterday, very early offseason, pre-draft, post-free agency. If you want to check that video out, check it out in the card section on your top right-hand screen right here, right now. Defensively, going to be looking at that from the defensive line all the way to the defensive backs position. I'm feeling a little bit confident for this whole unit, but there's a lot of things they can still work on, in my opinion. Going to be talking about that. Should be a fun time. Hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys do while this video is playing, please like and subscribe. That's going to definitely help me out a lot. Click that bell notification, get notified of future videos. Share the channel, share this content with fellow Niner faithfuls. Let's get this started. 49ers, how am I feeling about this defense coming into 2020? All right, time to talk about the defensive side of the ball. Last year, they were absolutely dominant when they're healthy. Nobody could stop this defense, led by Nick Bosa, DeForest, Kwon, Alexander. You guys know the typical guys. They were all the way dominant to the Super Bowl, where they almost had it, but kind of slipped away. But let's not talk about that. We'll talk about the defensive line first, led by Nick Bosa, D4, the guys I just mentioned. Two great guys, rookie/free agent trade. I thought they were the biggest difference maker coming into 2019, and they made a big difference. You have Eric Armstead. He got his big contract, so hopefully he lives up to that contract. Other guys like Ronald Blair, DJ Jones, they're going to be effective in my opinion. Julian Taylor, he's coming back from his injury. Solomon Thomas, he's going to be playing a bigger role because, DeForest Buckner's not with us anymore. Kentavious Street, he should be making his starting debut for a full season coming into 2020. I can't wait to see what he does. There's a lot of upside for this 49ers defensive line. They did great when they're healthy in 2019. I expect them to do the same thing in 2020, although the big question is how are they going to look without Buckner. But I'm not too worried just because of the fact the guys that I mentioned, the role guys, also the 13th overall pick, if they don't draft the wide receiver, if they're more inclined to draft his replacement, then I wouldn't be too concerned at all. Defensive line, feeling very confident, but it'll be very intriguing to see how the Buckner loss will affect the 49ers during the regular season. Next up, let's talk about the linebacking core. Very excited to see these guys coming back, led by Fred Warner, the middle linebacker. Also, Dre Greenlaw, rookie year. He had an outstanding year. He had that big stop against Seattle, Week 17, the final play of the 2019 campaign. I thought that was awesome. Kwon Alexander, we all know what he stands for. The energy man, the guy that can just do everything. Although tackling is a little bit questionable still, I think, in San Francisco, but for the most part, when he's on, he is on. He's a big difference maker for the linebacker position. Also, you got Mark Manacha, Al Shazier. They are great role players as well. Joe Walker coming from the Arizona Cardinals. This is looking like a really good LB core. They can stack up there along with Seattle as one of the top linebacking cores in the NFL. I think they're going to get even more well-known coming into the season. So hopefully they can keep that up. Warner, luckily, he did not have a sophomore slump. He was still one of the best. Very underrated player, just like Buckner in terms of the whole NFL span, but for 49er fans, he is one of the best. That's good for him. Linebacking core, I'm very, very confident of. Like the wide receiver position that I talked about yesterday, the defensive backs position is the one that's kind of shaky the most. Hopefully everything works out well. Surprisingly, if you didn't know, the 49ers were number one in passing defense by a large margin, which was very surprising. But when you have a great defensive linebacking core, it makes the defensive backs' job a lot easier. But in the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, those guys, they were a little bit exposed. They were a little bit unprepared for that big speed, and it really showed definitely in 54. But yeah, look at the talent that they have right now. Emmanuel Mosley, Richard Sherman, I believe those two guys would be the starters coming into week one. Sherman, some questions about him. Is he getting older up in age? I might give him one more year as a cornerback, but if it gets really bad, then he might have to move to safety, which is not bad at all. I mean, we've seen a lot of great Hall of Fame players move from cornerback to safety because they're getting up there in age. I mean, Sherman, I love to keep him no matter what because he's one of the most intelligent football players on the field. He's the leader of our defense, essentially, along with Fred Warner, Kwon, and those guys. But yeah, number 25, very essential for the 49ers. I think he's one of the most indispensable players in terms of football knowledge and even playability right now in his stage of career. He's proven that Achilles injury, not a problem at all. He came back to his shutdown cornerback form, and hopefully he keeps it up in this whole 2020 campaign. The safety position, Jimmy Ward, he's been re-signed with us in San Francisco for the next 3 years. I'm excited to see him shine even more in his second full year. Also, you got Jaquaski Tart, a reliable defensive back as well with Ward. Akella Witherspoon, that's probably the big wild card right there. I don't know what's going to be happening with him. Is he going to get cut? Is he going to be with the 49ers in the cornerback position because he got exposed big time after that injury that he had very early on, and when he came back, he was never the same guy. You look at some of the games that almost cost us. You had the Vikings game, Seahawks game in Week 17. So those two games were very pivotal, and Emmanuel Mosley is now our starter in San Francisco. Tyvarius Moore, he's a very promising guy. He had a nice interception against Patrick Mahomes. Marcel Harris, a very physical defensive back, but a little bit of a missed tackle machine. They have good raw talent. They just need to execute better. That's the thing about about this whole defensive back position. For the most part, I'm feeling really good, but I think if they want to draft somebody in the first round, they should use it with the 31st overall pick. Kwon Williams, one of the most underrated nickel cornerbacks in the NFL. I believe he's great. If I'm looking at this whole defense, if I'm looking at it as a whole, I'm still very, very confident on this defense, even with the defensive back being a little bit shaky. When you have a great defensive line, when you have them getting to the quarterback as much as possible, when you have the linebackers sealing off the running game and making nice tackles between the middle, I think this is just a dominant defense. I expect them to be the same thing coming into 2020. Hopefully they don't get that sophomore slump. Looking at it, both sides of the ball, defense I'm very confident of. Offense, more confident than I was in 2019, but I still believe they can make a lot more improvements within it, especially the wide receiver position. That's pretty much it, you guys. Please let me know what you guys think about the 49ers defense as a whole. I'd like to hear what you got to say in the comments below. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe. That's going to help me out a lot. I'll be catching you guys up tomorrow on a Thursday. I'll see y'all then. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Go Niners all day. Hot boys.